What is going on, fellow farmers? Welcome back to another episode of FS25 with your boy cjfarms. Happy Friday, everyone. Today is Friday, and we are going into the weekend, and I'm excited. I'm so excited because on the weekends, you know, I'm off. I'm off on the weekends. I don't work on the weekends, and I don't have dialysis on the weekends, which also means I get to spend the weekend with my family. So, the last time we were here, we had our worker plowing our field, and it is done. It's complete. It is ready to go, and he is now over on field 10. He's now plowing this field here. He's going to get this one done. So let's go back to the main farm. And before we get started on this right here, because we do need to finish picking these up and putting them into the wood chipper, and I think it might just be quicker if we pick them up by hand and do it. I'm not sure. I mean, the crane works pretty good. I've gotten the hang of the crane. It works pretty good. What we need to do is we need to get a worker started on this field by liming it. So we're going to grab, let's see what tractors we have available. Let's see. Well, we can't use that one because that's for our wood chipper. So we're going to have to use the New Holland. Let's detach it there, and I did install the precision farming mod. You know, I'm going to look into it a little bit, and we're probably going to do a tutorial on that pretty soon. It might probably be next week because I won't do anything else today except for this video. Okay, so we need to get a lime. We need to get some lime going. Now, do I have? Okay, I think the big one is lime. I think the small one is fertilizer. So I don't know why that big one is parked over here. Oh, I know why. I had it parked here so when the field was done plowing, I could go out there and start liming. That's why I had it parked here. So let's hook up to this. Hope you guys have had a great week, man. It's been, the week's kind of flown by, man. It's just kind of went by pretty quick. So let's go ahead and let's get a worker on this by liming it. We're going to lime this field, and we should get a pretty good yield out of this, being the fact we're plowing, liming, fertilizing, you know, and planting all that. So we should get a pretty good yield. We need to check on our chickens and see if we possibly have any eggs. I doubt we do yet, but it never hurts to check. So let's go ahead and open the doors up. Oh, we do have some eggs. Looky there. We do have some eggs to take off. And it's full in here, man. It's full in here. All right, so Riley the Rooster's doing his job. Where is he at? There he is. Riley, my man, what is up, dude? Look at you, man. Look at you in here, man. Getting in with these hens, getting good in with them, man, and putting those eggs out. I like it, man. I like it. Riley, you the man, brother. You the man. All right, let's go out here, and we're going to close this up. So we need to get a vehicle to load these up. I do prefer auto load. I do prefer auto load when it comes to my eggs. So let's see what we can do as far as auto load goes for eggs. We're gonna have to have something that carries Euro pallets, and if we don't have nothing for that, we got our buying zone right here. If we don't have anything for that, then we'll have to just put them on there by hand. So let's go into the store. And let's go to flatbed trailers and see what they got in here. Because a lot of times, like these trailers right here, they'll auto load, you know, anything. So turn auto load on. We don't need the extension. I want to say this one does Euro pallets as well. But I'm really not too sure. Let me see what else they got. Maybe it's this one that does Euro pallets, or it might be the Ponge. It might be the Ponge that does Euro pallets. We'll see. We'll see. And whatever, you know, doesn't work, we'll sell it back and we'll buy the next thing. And we did sell the big wood chipper. The new one, we kept that, the new one I got. But I did sell the big one that we bought. So we got some money out of that, as you guys can see. All right, we're going to go with that. Auto load is on. Our plate is on the back. Excuse me, guys. Plate's on the back. You know what? No, I think that's for bales only. I think that is for bales only. I really want to say it's this one right here that does the Euro pallets. I really want to say it's this one. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's this one that does everything like Euro pallets. So, okay, it doesn't show any auto load settings, but okay. It's not really showing anything for auto load settings. All right, so auto load is on. Let's go ahead and buy that. And we're not spending much money, so if we need to sell it back, we can. You know what I mean? So, all right, the only way to try it out is we're going to have to get our tractor here from our wood chipper. Let me slow him down a little bit, which is about, we can go and turn this off right here, which is about Joseph, the King of Dreams, which is somewhere, it's somewhere, I think it's after the story of Noah. And the Joseph, the King of Dreams, his gift from God was he could interpret dreams. And there's people out there that can do it. There's people out there in the world today that can interpret your dreams. And I'm a firm believer in God giving us gifts. God gives us gifts, man, to do different things, you know. So anyway, God had given Joseph a gift to interpret dreams. Long story short. But anyway, as Joseph was growing up, he was the 12th of 11 brothers, and he had 11 other brothers who were older than him, obviously. Joseph was the baby. He was the baby, so his father favored him more than, you know, he kind of did the other brothers. You know how it is when you have kids, multiple kids, and you have the baby, right? And the baby kind of, you know, gets their way with everything. That's just kind of how it is. And that's how it was with Joseph and his brothers. You know, Joseph and his brothers would have to go out, and their dad would make them go out and work in the field and work hard. But Joseph would not have to do any of that. His dad just kind of let him lay back and take it easy. And we have to fix this one right here because this is not turned right. So what we'll do is we'll go like this. We're going to put this right here on the edge of that, and then we're just going to push them back. Just like that. It's not perfect, but it'll get the job done. Oh, is there no straps on here? We gotta have a trailer with straps. We have to have. Unless we can just go really easy. Because we can take them. I think we can take these to the farmer's market. Let me see real quick, guys. Let's check the prices. And we'll get back into that story. Anyway, Joseph was favored a lot by his father more than he was his other brothers. And, you know, the brothers would have to go and work hard in the fields while Joseph would play, and he really wouldn't have to do much, right? So the dad just favored Joseph more than he did the others. Where is the exit? They must be, are they down here? Right here. Yeah, farmer's market. Okay, so they're peaking out in November at $4,000 per liter. We really need to push the time forward. Where are we at right now? October. 1 day behind. 1 day behind. And if I push the time forward, them chickens are going to produce eggs again. So, let me park right here. And so the brothers finally got tired of all this, right? They got tired of seeing Joseph being spoiled and not having to do all the hard work. And one day, the 11 other brothers took Joseph and they sold him off to slavery to the Egyptians over in Egypt. They sold him off to slavery, and the Egyptians come and got Joseph and pulled him away. And the brothers went back, and they had told their dad, because their dad was wondering where Joseph was. And I think there was one of two things they told their dad, that either I think that he was eaten by an animal and got killed, and they buried him. So all these years, and many years went on, where Joseph's dad thought that he was dead, because that's what his brothers had told him. But in all reality, he was a slave in Egypt. But there's a great and miraculous part of that story, guys. I'm going to cut the video here, and I'm going to take the time up to November so we can get the most out of these eggs, and I will bring you all back into the video, and we'll finish that story. All right, so as I said, the chickens did produce some more eggs, so we're going to go ahead and grab these, and we're going to put these on the trailer here. But back into what we were saying, so all them years Joseph's dad thought that he was dead, right? And there's actually a big meaning behind Joseph's dad and the 12 brothers. There's a huge meaning that falls right into the end time prophecy, and we'll talk about that another time. But so all these years, Joseph's dad thought that he was dead because that's what his brothers told him. Well, Joseph's time in Egypt when he was there as a slave, he was a slave for quite a few years. He was, and it's really crazy how the story ends up, because Joseph ends up like on top. He ends up on top, and God blesses him. So what happens? Joseph goes to Egypt. The Egyptians take him to Egypt and put him into slavery. Let's close this door up here so these chickens can't get out. And as he's over there, he's in slavery for quite a few years. Well, King Pharaoh, who was the king at the time in Egypt, was having this dream. And it was a bothersome dream. I can't remember exactly what dream it was he was having. Gosh, I wish I could remember what dream that was. It was something that was bothering him really bad, though, like it was bothering him in his sleep at night. Well, the King Pharaoh had brought all of his, servants in, his guards, and tried to get somebody to interpret the dream, but nobody could do it. And they had heard of Joseph, who was in slavery, who had been interpreting some of the guys' dreams down there. He had been interpreting some of the slaves' dreams. So King Pharaoh had gotten wind of that, and he said, "Bring me Joseph. bring me Joseph the slave." So they went and got Joseph, and Joseph interpreted King Pharaoh's dream, right? And he obviously got it right, because King Pharaoh was like, that sounds like the correct interpretation. In so many words, that's what he said. So anyway, after that all happened, let's go ahead and close this up over here. We need to speed up a little bit. Let's close this up right here. Trigger, you got to be right in that trigger to close that thing, man. We're going to take this over to the farmer's market now. Being the fact we are in November now, we are going to sell these for $4,266 per liter. Now, as I said, honey and eggs sell for pretty good. We're just going to go real easy so we don't drop the eggs. Man, I wish there were straps just so I could just take off. But we're going to go real easy here and take it over to the farmer's market and sell them. And the crazy part was, after Joseph had interpreted King Pharaoh's dream, I'm sorry guys, I know y'all hear my dog barking. After Joseph had interpreted King Pharaoh's dream, King Pharaoh decided to make Joseph his servant. His servant in his castle. So he was like his right hand man. He became King Pharaoh's right hand man because of this. And he did everything that King Pharaoh did. Anything King Pharaoh asked him to do, he did it. But he was his right hand man. He was no longer in slavery, and he was King Pharaoh's right hand man for many years. However, here's what happens: King Pharaoh's wife wanted to have an affair with Joseph, and she approached him. And she came on to him. I think we might have to sell him around here on this part, because if they don't sell there, they usually sell around here. And she came on to Joseph, and Joseph said, "I'm not going to do that," because, Joseph was loyal to King Pharaoh. And so when he turned her down in her pride, there they go. What we make? Look at there, man. Nice. So pretty much 47.8. So what is that, like $55,000 in eggs? See, eggs pay for good, man. So anyway, he said, "I'm not going to do that because I'm loyal to King Pharaoh." Well, when that happened, and King Pharaoh's wife got her pride hurt, she went back to King Pharaoh and told King Pharaoh that Joseph tried to rape her. That's what he said. That's what she told him. Well, King Pharaoh believed, his wife, of course, and Joseph was thrown back into slavery. Now, I can't remember exactly what happened between then and there, but Joseph goes back to slavery for many, many years. And I want to say what happened was, we're going to go ahead and turn this on. And I think that is it. So we're going to have to get a different trailer, the one that like actually auto loads our eggs, or at least a trailer with straps on it. So we can, we can make it a little easier on ourselves. So let's see how our chickens are actually doing. So they could use a little bit of food. They're good right now. We'll just, they definitely could use a little bit of food. We'll have to buy some wheat and give it to them. So we'll go ahead and buy some wheat real quick. But anyway, so Joseph went back to slavery for many years, right? He was back in slavery for many years. And I'm trying to remember how he ended up getting back out of slavery. I think he interpreted the king's dream again is what it was, or something like that. And that's how he got back out of slavery. But anyway, long story short, Joseph ends up getting back out of slavery again after all them years, and he becomes the governor of Egypt. He ends up becoming the governor of Egypt and becomes very, very wealthy. He becomes very wealthy. Well, many, many years later, there was like a drought and a Great Depression, right, that happened. So people were running out of food. People were running out of water. They didn't have no supplies. And lo and behold, here comes Joseph's dad and his 11 other brothers asking for food and water. Well, they didn't recognize Joseph at the time because it had been many years later, because Joseph was, like a teenager when they sent him off to slavery, or sold him off to slavery, I mean. And so they're standing there. His dad and his 11 brothers are standing there in front of Joseph, asking Joseph for, food and water, because they're running really short on their supply. And, okay, here's the wheat right here. So we'll get 8 bags. Here Joseph is. He's the king of Egypt, and he's dressed in all the Egyptian stuff. He's got the threads going on, the really expensive threads. His face is painted up, and he's got the Egyptian hat over his head, right? Like the golden Egyptian hat. And he decided to, and this is just how forgiveness works, man. I love the story of forgiveness. Joseph finally decided to give his father and his brothers food and water, and then he revealed himself to them who he was, and they all wept and asked for his forgiveness. And Joseph said, "I forgive you." And he brought his dad and his brothers into his kingdom where he was governor. And that was it, man. That was it. So that's kind of how forgiveness works, and that's the story of Joseph, the King of Dreams. There's a lot more to that story that I haven't shared, but man, it's just one of the great stories about forgiveness. It just really is. And I love the stories of forgiveness, because, forgiveness isn't for us. It's for the other person. So when someone forgives us, that's a great gift from that person. You know what I mean? And it lifts a heavy burden off of our shoulders when that person forgives us. Now, you imagine being in a family and your brothers or your sisters or your mom and dad sell you off to slavery, and years later they come begging for your help, right? How would you handle that? Let me know in the comments below. How would you handle that if you were sold off to slavery by your siblings, and years later they come asking for your help, and you were a wealthy person or a governor somewhere, and you had all control? How would you handle that situation? Let me know in the comments below. Guys and girls, that's going to do it for this episode of FS25. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope y'all enjoyed the story about Joseph, the King of Dreams. Love you all so much. Guys and girls, have an amazing weekend. God bless you all. Until next time, this is CJ Farms, and one crop at a time, we are helping America grow. Guys and girls, have an amazing weekend. God bless you all. read your word, read your Bible, stay in prayer, put God first, and I will see you all in the next video.